Hey everyone, this is Gary K. Welcome back to another pre-InfoComm edition of my Rants and Raves video cast. I'm actually really excited about this one because Logitech is one of my favorite companies in the entire industry. They have been an innovator in a lot of the stuff that they've done. I use the heck out of their products whenever I'm working from home. And so I actually just love your products, Sudeep. I'm joined with Sudeep Trivedi, who is the head of video collaboration alliances and go-to-market at Logitech also. And I don't think there's any secret that I just love your stuff. A lot of people call me out on it all the time, but I'm like, it just all works really well together.
Well, I'll say it's mutual, Gary. It's always great to be here. Great to chat with you always. We love chatting with rAVe. It's become a tradition, right? InfoComm,
Yeah.
we always start with you all in terms of showcasing what we're doing.
And we'll be at the show, and we'll of course go around and shoot videos like we normally do, and we'll talk about all the stuff. And of course, you can see all the coverage at our website. But I want to talk about partnerships. But before that, I want to kind of set things up, because for those that were not at ISC and didn't pay attention to what happened at ISC, y'all had a huge show. Like, I mean, the rally board was a huge hit, and it had some really unique features. If you haven't watched that video, you should go watch it. I assume that will be on the show floor at InfoComm.
Absolutely. Both literally and figuratively, it was a huge hit. It's the biggest product Logitech has ever made. But yeah, no, super excited with the reception that we got at ISC back when back then we had just announced it. There's some really unique things we are doing with that product, such as ability to way easily flip the board to create more dynamic, flexible sort of work environment. We have created what we call as a digital cocoon. So using AI to really improve the experience when you're using the product in an open office environment where there's always distractions, people walking around, people talking in hallways. So how to use AI to really create a nice digital zone around you to improve the experience for attendees. So we are showing all of that. Obviously now in reality, it's shipping. It's certified with Microsoft and Zoom, and we have literally tons of customers using it. So super excited to show that, and coming soon for Google as well. So
yeah, I'm very excited about everyone seeing that. And you may not think like it's a big deal that they're flipping it, but it's really cool because it allows you to simply put the camera on the top of the bottom in a meeting room, depending on the application. I love the term digital cocoon. I might borrow that as a way to describe what AI is doing. What about Spot?
Yeah, so Spot got a great reception at ISC as well, which is when we had announced it. So Spot is an environmental sensor that we have announced, and that does a lot of pretty cool things. So it has like a radar-based occupancy insight that you can gain out of it, but also a lot of environmental aspects. So things like air quality, particulate matter in the air, and all of those can feed into giving better perspectives and analytics on, first of all, usage of your spaces, but also the health and well-being of employees in those spaces. So that's a big focus area for us as well. So Spot is something we announced at ISC. We'll show it in InfoComm, and it'll be shipping shortly later in the summer. And the good thing is the technology that we are providing with Spot in terms of occupancy and environmental sensor actually is built in Rally board already. So we are already shipping it as part of Rally board, but we'll have a separate sensor shipping shortly as well called Logitech Spot.
And what I'm most excited about is it gets our integration community into a new segment of the market. I mean, this is something that end users have been asking for because they want this data to simplify their job, make them more efficient. But from an integrator standpoint, it allows them to get into a different segment of the market, sort of more smart building and smart management, building management segment of the market. And you've made a really simple way for them to do it. I commend you for that. I want to talk about the partnerships. You got Steelcase and you have Orange Box has been part of there, but you have Steelcase, AppSpace, Heckler, Samsung as partners. I want you to talk about sort of like how you're going to highlight them at the show, because I know that's a big part of what you're going to do at InfoComm.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we look at solving customers' problem, we have this kind of broader holistic view of the world, which is that, yes, we are a product company, we develop a lot of products, but that's not everything the customer needs to solve their problems. For them, a lot of different pieces of technologies have to fit together nicely. We think of it as different pieces of puzzle that have to come together nicely for customers and channel partners to take care of their problems, which is why we have built a really robust ecosystem of all these different piece parts, our technology alliances, that we have developed a partnership program called LCP. So there's a lot of companies that you mentioned, they're part of this LCP partnership program. Happy to share that at InfoComm, over 25 of our alliance partners will be showing all these integrations of different technologies, whether it's mounts and carts to furnitures to pro audio, pro AV solutions, room control, to API integrations for management and monitoring. So really a robust set of ecosystem alliances that we have created that we'll be showcasing. But just to kind of bring it at a high level, Gary, as we look at the needs for flexible work, we are really laser focused on three aspects on how to solve customers' pain points. One is making solutions simpler. Second is making them smarter. And third is doing it in a more sustainable way. So those are kind of our three priorities, focus areas: making stuff simpler, making it smarter, and doing it in a more sustainable fashion. So all these ecosystem alliances I'm talking about are really around helping us achieve that objective, making solutions simpler, smarter, more sustainable. And I can share a lot of great things we'll be showing at InfoComm in terms of making solutions simpler, smarter, and more sustainable.
Well, the simpler, smarter, I think, is easy to see. The sustainability piece is harder to see, but I know it's been a big part of your focus. And you did a really good job last year to sort of show sort of the, not just what goes into the products, but also what goes into picking material providers and partners for your ecosystem of products. And I suspect that'll be part of it. And I think this is sort of an underrated part of the market, is the impact that we're leaving on the environment, the impact that the products have in the upgrade cycles, and the tech cycle is it's a fact. We can't keep a camera forever, right? We want something better. When something better comes along, AI comes along, we want AI. So we can't expect it, but we can do things to make it more friendly for the environment and also pass it on so other people can use it and such. And so I know that's all part of what you've done. So I commend you on that. And I should mention, for those that don't know it, Logitech actually made this available for free. Literally, you published documents on how and said, hey, if our competitors want to do the same thing, we're welcome to do that. And you're actually giving sort of a blueprint for how other companies can do that as well.
Absolutely, because in the end, the whole industry has to do more, and we are happy to do our part. And in terms of making solutions simpler and smarter, I do want to make sure we touch on that as well. So there's some key aspects that I wanted to highlight that we'll be showing at InfoComm. So let's talk about simpler. So Rally Board is a great example of making things simpler, where it's just one device, literally, that you hang on the wall, put on a cart, and that becomes your complete video conferencing solution for any space. Just imagine the simplicity that you gain by doing so. Just one device that runs your Zoom room or Teams rooms. And if you have a smaller satellite office, for example, where there is no IT, that's a great example of making things simpler. The other example I would highlight, which we are super excited to show at InfoComm as well, is as we are deploying Microsoft Teams rooms, as you know, we are a market leader in that category, first to market with Teams Room and continuing that market leadership. But one consistent feedback we are getting from customers that there's a cost of technology, but then there's even a higher cost of installing the technology in the room.
Okay.
Hanging it on the wall or running cables and all the physical stuff that goes on. So Microsoft started this initiative called Express Room, and we got behind it. I believe we are one of the first ones, if not the first one, to actually put it in motion and show it with this Express Room concept that we have developed in partnership with Heckler, where one person, one installer with no tools required can put together a huddle room in less than an hour.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Imagine the simplicity that we are driving with that. So super excited to show that solution, which will be at Logitech booth as well as at the Heckler booth, where they have some demonstrations for that. So that's a great example of making solutions simpler. The other thing we are also doing is to drive down the cost of technology as well. So recently we announced an entry-level Microsoft Teams Room solution, where we have worked with Lenovo, one of our other partners, to find a Core i3 sort of processor that we have paired with a Logitech Tap and our Meetup 2, which is a flagship device that called Meetup that we have been selling for years. So put it all together in a very cost-effective solution for huddle rooms, where you can get started at a very reasonable cost with an entry-level Microsoft Teams Room solution. The last example for simplicity that I do want to highlight, which is, again, we're the first one in the industry to driving the whole industry towards a simpler path for headsets, where a challenge a lot of end users see ITCs as typically headsets require a dongle, which is so wasteful and just introduces so many complexities in terms of the user experience. Now we have driven what's called as a native Bluetooth solutions, now certified for Microsoft Teams as well as Google, where you have our headsets that natively connect to your computer without the need for dongle, and they're fully certified, fully reliable, high quality, great experience delivered. Now driving even more simplicity in terms of how your headset connects to laptops. So those are all great examples of driving simplicity in the solutions. If you allow me just for one more minute to share examples of making solutions smarter, using AI. So there's a lot of pretty cool things we are driving there in terms of making meetings more productive, more efficient, and improving the engagement for remote attendees using AI. So a couple of examples I want to highlight that we'll be showcasing at InfoComm. One is Zoom has this construct called Intelligent Director. And we've paired that up with Logitech devices like Sight and rAVe Bar. So Sight is our tabletop camera. The cool innovation we'll be showing there is actually the ability to daisy chain two sites. So now you have a rAVe Bar at front of the room and up to 2 sites daisy chained in the room. So total of 6 cameras that are being orchestrated via AI to give you different perspectives of the room as the conversation flows. And it also helps remote attendees, obviously in terms of engagement, but also knowing who said what. So we have worked with Zoom on name tagging, where you can see who is the person speaking in a nice little frame, and their name tied to it, as well as if you register your audio and face. So again, great example of using AI to improve engagement. And that also helps with meeting transcription, because now you know who said what. Another great example, same thing, same concept applied to Microsoft Teams Room, where they have this construct called multi-stream video. So we have worked with Microsoft on doing that multi-stream integration, where you take a stream out of a meeting room where there could be 10 plus rooms sitting in a bowling alley sort of thing, but we were able to take individual people out of that, create tiles, and again do name tagging, so that you clearly see who's in the room, who said what. The last example of smarter I'll give is, so we talked a little bit about Logitech Spot as an example, but there's so many analytics you can get out of meeting rooms. How are the rooms being utilized? How many people are in the room? So we have done those sort of integrations via APIs as well, so that with Microsoft, Zoom, and even some of our other partners like AppSpace, where within their broader workspace management tools, now you get insights on how your workspace is being utilized.
And it's interesting because ultimately it's up to the integrator to tell the customer that all this exists. A lot of time the customer doesn't even know that they can get these insights. They don't even know they have this ability to get this analytics, or even these features exist. And it's kind of hard sometimes to keep up with it. That's why, we do stuff like these recordings, and we do shows, we do trade shows and stuff, because we have to keep telling them that this stuff kind of exists. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this, Deep. I look forward to seeing how you demonstrate all this. I really look forward to seeing how you put together a partner booth, and how you show how all this stuff works together in one ecosystem. So thanks for coming on and doing this. And of course, you can see all the Logitech stuff at logitech.com, but we're going to go around and shoot videos on all the stuff we talked about and everything else that they have there. And you go to ravepubs.com/InfoComm, and you can type in Logitech in the video search window and find all of this. So Deep, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves.